All right, today's Monday, April 29th, 2019. We've got another episode here on Lone Star Lowe's. So what we're showing today is some Roadster wire wheels, or Roadstars. They're a knockoff version of the Roadsters. These are 13.7 Series 3 72 spoke, all chromes. These things were made in 1996, believe it or not. One of them is 95. I'm not sure which one it is out of these four. But I just want to do a little quick video here and explain how these things work, because I've searched on YouTube and there's no videos on these wheels on how they work. I've been a pretty avid collector of these. Got my first set in 1998 and kind of been hooked ever since. So these things are no longer made. The company's out of business. You find parts here and there, but nobody's making any more parts. So a lot of people confuse these with, the Dayton style knockoffs, and they don't really understand how these things work or how they mount. So I'm gonna do a quick video here to explain, and maybe people get a better understanding of how these wheels work, and so they're not damaging them or, giving them a bad rep. Because a lot of people give these rims a bad rep because they get stuck on, or they fly off, or they break the spinner. And we're going to get into that, because if these things are mounted properly, it's impossible. It's mechanically impossible for them to fly off. So I'm just going to do a quick little video here. Let me set up my little tripod. First time doing this. All right. So these are Series 3 72 spoke. I have here a set of hubs, or one hub, but I do have a complete set. These are actually Series 1. Series 1s only have 5 holes. Either 5 lug, 4 lug, or 6 lug, and as you can see, the mounting surface and then the thickness of the hub is about 5/16 of an inch, and then the hub sits on top of the adapter, so that's going to push your wheels out. So it might be a problem for if you have Fleetwood, Cadillac, any Impala running skirts. You're probably going to run into a problem with these, especially if you have hydraulics without a wishbone setup. So you would have your adapter mounted, and then your wheel, of course, and then it has a locking spindle nut here that uses 3/4 inch, get that on camera, 3/4 inch nut drive in a square hole. It has left side, right side. So the left side is going to spin, to tighten it's going to spin clockwise. And it has a ratcheting, let me show you the ratcheting assembly. It has ratcheting teeth right there. Mates to the splines inside the adapter, and you're going to hear this thing ratchet as it's tight. That's when you know you're getting it tight. There you go. So this is actually a 4-piece wheel. You would have an adapter, your wheel, your lock, and then lastly you'd have your spinner, which is not a knockoff. It's a decorative spinner only. It's made out of aluminum alloy, chrome plated, or gold, just for looks. It's really light. All it does is thread on to the spindle nut, or lock referred to. And a lot of people tend to beat these things up. They'll crack really easy. All you do is hand tight. Couple taps with your lead hammer, maybe one each ear, and you're done. You don't have to beat on it because it's not holding the wheel on. A lot of people mistake these things for holding the wheel on, like a Dayton, OG Wire, Zenith, Superior, whatever, whoever's making wheels these days, where the spinner is actually holding the wheel on. These are very light. I mean, this thing probably weighs less than a pound. Whereas like your brass Zenith spinners, or the Super Sweps, or even the Daytons, they're heavy. Those things are actually holding the wheel on. Not in this design. So I like it because you're not beating up your spinners, you get no hammer marks or nothing. It's just, it's just decoration. So that spins on like that, and that's how the wheels work. Now they made Series 1, 2, and 3. Series 3 15-hole 72 spoke, which is what I have. I would probably venture to say they're the most desirable. They did come in 100 spokes, which if you like 100 spokes, I personally don't really care for 100 spokes. They made an 80 spoke and 14 inch. Some of those are floating around, but they're pretty rare. It's a pretty rare design, and like I say, they're out of business. finding right side spinners is nearly impossible. I mean, they're out there, you know, they're out there, but a lot of people don't want to sell them because they don't make them anymore, and you can't find them, and they're just hard to find. So I would say that the right side spinners are probably up there with difficulty of finding is with the Series 2 Zenith spinners, which have the same design. They have a locking hub and a decorative spinner, so it's kind of the same design. I don't know, maybe they were teaming up or something back then, but these things, like I say, they're from 95 and 96, long out of business. You can get them rebuilt. Actually, I was going to get these hubs rebuilt into some wheels. These are 80 spoke hubs, Series 1, but ended up finding these, and it was a better deal money wise just to go ahead and pick these up. But I'm still going to get these built. I think I'm going to get these built into something with some gold on them. The downside is, like I say, it only fits one lug pattern. It's not interchangeable with the Series 1 and the Series 2. Series 3, 15 hole adapter. So by the time Series 3 came around, they kind of got the design down pretty good. And like I say, this is all original. These things have never been rebuilt. The chrome is pretty impressive. I think so, to be so old. They're pretty well kept. Of course, it's got a gold spinner on there that doesn't match, but you know, I have a complete set of 2-ways, I have a complete set of 3-ways, and I have some extra 3-ways. I have a set of hubs and adapters, and I have plenty of left side three wings, and about a dozen of them. If anybody out there needs them, you can leave a comment, and I can get one to you. So they made the Eagles. Like I say, it's a pretty unique design. I believe those are like 2 5/8 inch. They're not 2 1/4. They're not Dayton size 2.38. It's a whole design on its own. So everything is kind of unique to this wheel. That's why I like it, because you can't really copy it. It's got the fluted spinners, which they don't make anymore. So it's a special design. It's not your typical, you know, all chrome 100 spoke, come from overseas in a white box. This is kind of a unique wheel. So I think they made them 13, 14, 15 inch, maybe up to 15, 10. After that, I don't think they got any bigger. But like I say, these things are from 96. So back in 96, if you had, you know, 17-inch wheels on your car, you were doing pretty big things, if anybody remembers that. It's like it jumped from 15-inch to 17-inch, and the 17-inch were big time back then, and now they're, you know, I don't even know what size they make them these days, probably 28. But just a little quick video here, because like I say, on YouTube, I didn't see any videos of how these things work. So I wanted to get this out there if anybody's wondering or anybody curious about a set of these. You can pick up a pretty clean set, you know, from, you know, complete 15-hole with spinners, you know, anywhere from $800 to $1,200 in decent shape. Then plus tires, of course. I mean, you know, I see some guys. I used to have a set that were new old stock. They were brand new in the box. I mean, those can go for about $2 grand. Sometimes you get lucky and you find these. Maybe the person doesn't know what they have, or maybe they don't care, where you can pick them up, you know, for $100 at a garage sale or something. Just all in where you find them. But you know, generally, I would say they're worth between $800 and $1,200, depending on the condition, rust or curb check. So it's an alternative to what's out there today. Definitely better than anything coming from overseas, in my opinion. And I like them. And I know they have quite a following, and the parts are pretty hard to find. Spinners, you know, anywhere from 2 to 3, sometimes up to $400 a set. So they're not cheap. They're not overly expensive. I mean, you're talking about spending $1,000 for a set of wheels for your car. That's relatively cheap. And then the tires, another $200, $300. You're still really cheap compared to what other stuff costs. So just want to do a quick little video here and show these. Like I say, these are Roadstars, roaster wire wheel knockoff, 72 spoke, Series 3, all chrome. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a comment, and thanks for watching.